Alrighty. Let me make sure the music is down a little bit more. And that you can hear me. Cool. Sweet. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream Mini Things. My name is Wheeler. I'm your host for tonight, and we are doing some more mini painting and chilling. Sorry we didn't do it on Tuesday. I wanted to spend some time with my wife. So, before we get started, I've got a few quick things to get out of the way. One, if you aren't already following the channel, please do. If you have the financial ability to, please consider subscribing. Don't forget that if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to one Twitch channel for free each month within a Twitch Prime. Yes, Twitch Prime. You just have to re-up it each month. You can follow us on our socials at StreamNT on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. I don't know if I said that already, but if I didn't, there you go. Or you can follow me at Wheeler's Minis on pretty much anything. Check out my website, wheelersminis.com. More stuff coming in stock at some point. I just have to get some things done. Other than that, if you aren't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go and do that. It is free. I would appreciate it. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't have anything specific I need to paint tonight. I can always work on the commission pieces I've got, but I think I want to start working on some humanoids because I did promise that I would start doing more humanoids for the website. So I think we're going to stick with that for tonight. Maybe get some work done on a unicorn that I did some work on last time, but I haven't had the ability to work on a lot of humanoids recently, so I wanted to get some of that done. Oh, goodness. All right. First and foremost, we're going to have to get some actual color on here. Crusader skin is definitely on the list. We only need a small amount, though, because there isn't too much skin showing. And for this, use my fancy brush. Most of this is going to be leather, except the hands and the face. So like I said, I don't really need a lot of the Crusader skin to get this going. It's been primed and sitting inside my work desk for a bit, and like I said, I made a promise that I'd do some more humanoids, so that's what we're gonna do today. Work on some humanoids. So, hands there. First aspect of this is going to be making sure that I get everything kind of coated with some kind of paint, but I'm going to most likely be doing speed paint for much of it. It's an elf. Probably gonna go with ruddy skin though, like darker skin tones. So yeah, we're gonna need some dark wood. This is going to be for the bow and part of the arrow. the arrow. Make sure we've got some wood color on there so that way going to be doing a lot of greens and browns, so probably camo cloak on that. And on anything that isn't leather. I'm going atypical, or sorry, I'm going typical elf colors on this, especially a ranger. So it's going to be a lot of browns and greens. It's all the way around. Sometimes bracers only lace up. So far, and then it gives way to the undershirt, but this specifically is a full bracer. So this. I'm going to say that in addition, straps. Then leather girdle, it looks like. Guess I could look at the pictures of this and make sure that this is right, but going with leathers. Leathers makes the most sense for a ranger and really anyone who's going to be out in the wilderness. So that's what I'm doing. Doing my best not to get this where it shouldn't be. I just want to make sure that the second aspect of painting this, which is going to be the actual paint on the model, isn't going to take extra time. And you can take a minute amount of extra time at the beginning to make sure that you don't have to take a massive amount of extra time in the end. It's always helpful and beneficial. Camo cloak for the pants. And then we'll do like do absolution for the cloak or the no, we'll do absolution for the pants, we'll do camo for the cloak. As it is called camo cloak, so just to be safe. Can't really see too much of it anyway besides this, so. But camo cloak's like a nice green brown. I guess earthy green would be the best way to describe it. Probably my fault for properly. I'm doing what I can to make sure that I don't get it where I don't want it. But if it does get in some spaces, it's not the worst because the colors are all going to kind of work really well together on the model as a whole. So same thing for the chest. Non-leather parts. The reason why I'm doing the pants darker is because pants tend to come in darker colors. Very rarely will you see a lighter colored pant especially when it comes to like leathers and things. Usually it is a darker pant mixed with a lighter tone in other places. So that is why I'm hitting this with Absolution versus the Camo Cloak, which is kind of, it's a little lighter in general. It's generally going to get the same kind of treatment. As the other greens, but still want to be able to differentiate between them. That isn't going to be the easiest to see, but still want to get some paint on it just in case. The hair. Go with darker hair.
They end up white or some different color. I want to hit them up with the tips of the arrows up with Earthshade now. That way they're already pre-shaded because I don't really need a lot of like extra work on them. It's really just getting that color on them. And you want them to have that kind of look of dirt because, I mean, they come clutching his feathers. They're not going to be super perfectly clean, you know? Good so far. Probably just gonna leave that bowstring as is with the white. But yeah. Alright. Let her dry for a little bit. I have another one I could work on. It's basically the same character but in a different pose. Or you know what? Base for it. Detail once I'm done. So I'm just hitting this up with the darkest green. I'll go back over it with certain things, but I want kind of green to be the base tone of it. And I've got another one for the other one, so I'll just go ahead and hit that one up too. Much more rough with these because I've used them unendlessly, unendingly. The green that goes back there are dark wood, right? Grim black, dark wood, and then... Okay. Oh. So to get some work done on the unicorn, I'm going to need some more white. I got some new paints coming in I'm super excited about. So things are gonna be a little changed around after a bit.
I just wanted to show you Amazon.
Is it a mask? Oh. I like it. I thought you already had one.
Wait.
Oh, the wig. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the kid. I was like, didn't someone put that for you? Leave all the action to the men? I don't think so. I don't think so. My wife is Mrs. Incredible. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of too much of the shading, but I definitely want to make sure, especially on the tail, it's just not very uniform in the coloring. Just want to get some more white in there to make sure that it is a little more uniform in its look. It's also not super uniform on this side, so I'm just going to get some more white in there and back here. Make sure color's where it's supposed to be. That is very important. Super excited. I got my first actual character commission from someone who was doing an amazing cosplay at Emerald City. But they bought all of pretty much all of my big minis. And then they were like, hey, I'd like you to also do my character. And I was like, hell yeah. I love doing character minis. I know I don't paint humanoids a lot on stream. But I would like I'll probably post on the website or on my Twitter some of the work I've done for my players' characters, because I like painting it. It's something that I do as a hobby, but if I can take that hobby and put it onto my table, that's great. So I will usually paint my player characters so that they have something to use at the table, because I also like using maps at my table. So, but yeah, I was so excited when they reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I really like the stuff that you do, and I'd like you to paint my character." And I was like, "Hell yeah, I will." So it's gonna be fun. Might be a stream thing. I don't know. We'll have to see. Wait and see what happens. Just want to get some more white on here, because this one should be pretty easy to finish up. Should be pretty easy to finish up. Really now it's just about making sure that the color is relatively even in spaces, because part of dry brushing that sucks is it doesn't always catch everything, and I just want it to be, I want the white to be more prominent in certain places and more even instead of splotchy, because it just looks better when it's more even. So like here, I don't think I hit the tail at all with white here. Definitely needs it.
Doesn't really need it as much on the bottom just because, again, it is the bottom of it. I like making sure that there's paint down there though, so that way it doesn't look bad. Because that's one thing that consistency is key, and I like making sure that all the models that I paint are the most consistent paint job that they can be. So I'll probably have to go back over some of this with yellow again, but that's okay. I'm liking it so far. I'm gonna do the I think I did like a orange for the legs or something, because I didn't do yellow. Or maybe I did the Fire Newt orange, but I think I'm gonna go more of like a yellowish orange. So I'm gonna do Rust Monster. Maybe if it'll open up. I think I'm gonna do like a small bit of Rust Monster mixed with some angelic yellow, because I'll need some yellow anyway to redo. Oh, didn't mean to do that. So what I'll do is I'll actually just take some yellow over here. That way, if I do mix it, it doesn't mix everything completely. And then I just want it to get like that really nice, like that color. And don't worry, I know technically speaking, I shouldn't be beating up these brushes as much as I do, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Because I have a lot of extra brushes. And I know someone is going to be like, oh my god, please don't do that. But these brushes are meant to be beat up. They serve no other purpose besides getting paint on the model. So what I'll do, like I said, I'll do the kind of like mix of yellow and orange on these, and for the highlight I'll just come back over with I'll just come back over with like yellow or something to really just help make the colors pop. Because I wanted it to be different from the color of the hair. Because for this unicorn, it does have kind of like that. The best way to put it is like avian feet, almost like chicken feet. So I want it to be a little bit different from the golden like hair that I'm going for. And what I'll probably also do with the horn specifically is I will it's yellow right now. Same thing with the eyes. Instead of doing just a yellow eye, I might actually do gold. Gonna get hit some of these places up with white because they're just missing that color. I like the main as is for now, so I'm just gonna leave that. Just straight yellow into it. When I get into the detail though, I'll go with a smaller brush just to make sure that I don't overdo it and go over the work that I did to undo the overdoing of the yellow from the last time that we painted this. But I like the shadow on the yellow right now is kind of right where I want it to be. And then I'm just taking the yellow mixed with white and going over like the top, because that's what's going to catch the most light. The same thing with like down here. And here as well. Ooh, too much. So just take some yellow. Need a lot, just need a little bit. A little bit. Should do. Just got like a little. There we go. Again, you're not going to be able to see this, but I'd rather the paint be there than it not be. I also think the juxtaposition between the black and the yellow is such a good look. Oh, I didn't even think about the fact that the tail is still there. So let's get some more of that light yellow. Again, just kind of on the highlight area. You don't want it everywhere. You just want it where the sun's going to catch it, because then there's like a change in the color as you get into darker parts of it. That's how lighting works. So, all right. It's okay if the yellow bleeds a little bit into the white, because it'll be like the sun is reflecting the color, but you don't want it too much, because then it just looks like you didn't do anything to fix it. Obviously stuff down here is going to be darker too. I just want to get some color where there wasn't any. And then these little ties, I don't know what color I'm going to make those. Be like a brown. The OTF brown that I have. That is probably still too much. Oof. Trying to get better at making sure that I don't overuse paint. Because I do have a tendency to pour too much on the palette and then never make use of it. Which, by proxy, I should just probably start using more paints for different models. And then what I'll do with this little spot right here where this rope tie or whatever the hell it is. I'll put that with some like earth shade or something to kind of help it pop. But I do already kind of like the way that this is turning. It's neat. Good. I do like golden eyes and like a golden accent on the horn. Still keeping some of that yellow there and to tie everything together well. Definitely adding some gold in to give it more of a regal, I think is the best word for it. Just kind of a regal look. Right. And now it's just tidying up some small bits, making sure that they have the color that I want where I want it. Final just little dabs of color in specific areas to just brighten it a bit. color in there. Should make sure that it matches the other side. Oh. Cool. Now I'm just doing some small highlight bits. Specifically on pieces that'll be touched by the light. Just doing this to make sure that there is a clear differentiation between the ties and the rest of the hair. And I think that she is done, minus the base. Which for this base, I think I'm going to go with brown, and then I'm going to actually do a base for it. Oh man, an hour in. Finished one. We should be able to start working on her now. She should be pretty dry. So I didn't get the arrow tip. That's okay. I'm just gonna go over it with. All right. So ready skin. Darker skin tone. We do not need a lot. We need a little bit. Fortunately, there we go. Tone. Ideally, just get like a nice small minimal layer of it to where it doesn't detract from any of the shadows that I put in with the speed paints. I'll still probably end up going over it with Flesh Shade just to reshade it. Definitely want to make sure that I am getting enough of this flesh tone in here. That's the beauty. I can always come back over it if it doesn't look the best. One thing I don't want to do is just cake too much of it on there. If I do that, then it's definitely just not going to look very good. If I get it in the eyes for now, it's fine, because I'm going to go back over, obviously, and do the eyes later. Again, I just don't want too much. I should have lowered it down a little bit. And make sure that I'm getting the ears. You want to make sure that it's smooth. Definitely don't want to get too much around the fingers, because if you do, you'll lose the detail of each of the fingers. And you want to make sure that that is at least somewhat kept a little. But that should be good on the skin tone for now. I'll probably come back to it. Work on the leather. Whew. Sorry if you guys are moving around a bit. I'm just trying to make sure that this is as it possibly can. Whoop. Yep. Definitely moving around a bit, so I'm sorry. Oop. Not tight enough. Starts drifting. Let me know. Much better. This is a bit of a lighter leather color. We're going to use on the sides and the tops, because the bottoms are going to have crazy shadow to them, so I want to make sure that I'm maintaining that. But I do want to get some actual leather color on there so that way you can tell that it's leather. little bit of a darker brown. This is going to be for the. Ooh, I should not do that with this brush. Be for the wood. The right one. I'm gonna make sure that it's leaving some of the shadow there because you don't want to overdo it. Make it look bad. So far, it's coming together pretty well, though. It's the wood bits. We'll do a little bit of brown mixed in with tree green or pop. Cloak. And then troll skin. For the pants. Too much. Maybe not. Maybe that was actually just enough. should look pretty much everything. Just to be safe. Go back over that. Goodness. She has a little collar that I'm trying to hit right now. I didn't see it earlier when I was putting the base color on everything, so now I'm trying to rectify that and make sure it's got that green color on it. Cool. That's it for her color. Except for, I don't know, thinking a little bit of a green. On these, kind of similar to this tone of her cloak. And then for the bowstring, I'm just gonna do like a light this. Beautiful. Skin tone. On them thingies right there. Don't need to tone anything down except the skin. We're gonna do a flesh shade on those. But first, before we do that, I just want to get them. Hair. Let's see, I haven't used any of these metals yet. Oh. was told that the scale 75 metallics were the best, so given that thought process a test. And I'm going to do like the slightest green. It's like a green silver. I think that fits pretty well with the aesthetic of everything else. And then here. I mean, 3 or so minutes, maybe more than enough time. Flesh shade. Takes a decent chunk of this and just put it everywhere where the skin is. And let that dry. Go back over it with detail. All right. And now for the base, take some earth. Just kind of go over the roots / vines on the ground. Get a nice dark brown. Kind of just go over everything with that. Take some of that troll skin. Go over. Especially some of the bigger ones. I want to have like that deep verdant green. Again, everything just kind of tying back together. That tends to be something that I do, especially with colors. I make sure that everything blends really well together. So I will usually go back over with colors that I've already used for bases and things like that. Especially when you have stuff like this where it's like leaves and things. So like the lighter green is the color of the same color as the cloak. The darker green is the same color as the pants. And then what I'll actually do is I'll do mix of the two. A couple others. Shows some semblance of variation. And then I'll take some of that mixture, mix it in with the earth. And that's going to give me that kind of brownish dying leaf. To give a little bit of variation to the base itself to make sure that it doesn't look the same across the board. And then hit up. Did I grab the wrong? Ups of these with the earth tone again. Difference in looks. That's really it. All right, let's see. That flesh shade has. It has mostly dried. So now what we're going to do is retake some of the flesh tone. Just kind of lightly go over the areas we already hit with it, but that got some more shading. Going to bring the color back to the skin. Just kind of doing it lightly. For the face and just highlight areas.
Sorry, I didn't see that. Welcome in. I'm painting this elf ranger. Sorry, I've been so focused on it, I wasn't able to look over and see that you chatted, so I apologize. And she's almost done. Just needs a few little small touch-ups. And I can do. I don't think I have a super fine detail brush. Except these. Take some of this, some black. Just hit up her eyebrows. And go back with the skin tone very quickly. Fix the mistake I made with it. Sweet. Take some white. Over the eyes. Woo. Same thing that I did with the eyebrows, just fix any mistakes.
Worst part. Give myself some stability. Yeah, I was painting this elf ranger, and then I also have a unicorn that I was doing as well. He just does not want to come off on us. Oh, 6 minutes. I think I can do it. I just gotta get this paint to actually, not dry on me. Oh, the brush is not working right now. So, holy shit, I did it. Oh my god.
All right. God, that's so stressful. Let's back up.
2 minutes. I'll be able to do small finishing touches. Little dabs of gold on the ear for the earrings. She is almost done. Oh, all right. I'm doing the cardinal sin, which is all right. Now just glue her to the base. I had those that I could work with them. And then I will work on the base for the unicorn literally as soon as I get off of this. Nibbit.
Oh, God. Getting these things to dry is the worst. All right. That's going to do it for me for tonight. I'll post pictures of these, and both the unicorn and this lovely elf will be available in my store as soon as I can get the bases done. By that, I mean get this one glued to the base. But that'll do it for tonight. Thank you guys for joining. I'm so sorry for not answering right away. I just get so caught up in painting that I forget to look at the chat sometimes. So, like I said, thank you so much for joining. If you aren't already following the channel, please do. If you have the financial ability to, please consider subscribing. Don't forget that if you have a Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free each month with your Twitch Prime subscription. Follow us on our socials at StreamOfMT on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Follow me at Wheeler's Minis on pretty much everything. Check out the website, which this will be up on as soon as it's done. And I believe that's it. Oh, if you aren't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, go over there. The VOD for this will probably be up on Saturday, along with our unboxing video for Dragonlance minis. So, if you're interested, sorry for just hitting the mic. If you're interested in getting a brick, be sure to definitely look for our review of that so you know what you might be able to get. But that's going to do it for me tonight. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you all next week, maybe? I don't know. I have to think about what the dates are, but I think, yes, we'll be here next week. So, see you all next week. Have a great night. Bye.